Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. We got this week's edition of Beyond the Buzzer coming right to you, of course. I am Kyle Nash, the student of the game, and with me, producer, tech extraordinaire, Bobby Blackjack, here with me in the building. What's going on, Bobby?
What's up there, Kyle? How's your week so far?
Hey, man, I'll tell you, the past 2 weeks, heck, if there's so much motion going on right now in the NFL that I'm glad to say it's kind of overshadowing me having to endure the waste of time that is March Madness. But don't worry, for those of you that do enjoy that sort of thing and the play-in games that are taking place this evening, don't worry. The host of the show, Danny Thompson, will be joining us soon enough. And of course, friends, don't forget, holla at us in the comment section if you happen to be watching us on the Beyond the Buzzer Facebook page. And Bobby Blackjack will do his thing to have it flash on the screen, and we can either yay, nay, approve, and possibly make fun of you as we do our favorite troll, Rodney, on a regular basis. But yeah, Danny Thompson will be with us right now. The throes of life have put him in the ways of Father Time's crosshairs, so he's running late, and that's okay. We can hold this thing down. And listen, don't forget about our friends at Valor. See, I've been rehearsing that point all this time. I don't even need to check if it's left or right anymore. I know where it is. Have them go to them for all your needs involving social media, hype, and publicity that you might need if you're a rising star. Heck, as we joke around here on Beyond the Buzzer, they even made a power-drained fire alarm a star. Am I right, Bobby?
Absolutely.
Anyway.
By the way, real quick, here, this would have been Danny's reaction to your NCAA tournament March Madness comment.
Let's
get that out of the way.
Yeah, it would have been something like that. Although I don't know that Danny Thompson is capable of growing that handsome a beard. I am capable of knowing that he does dig all that. And hey, listen, the man who calls me his spirit animal is in the building. I'm sure he'll have something to say about a lot of the moves involving the Tennessee Titans of late. My favorite one being Bub Dupree. We'll get into that later. But first, a couple things that got my attention. First and foremost, that I'm going to get out the way because I'd have been ranting and reeling about it anyways. Let's open the door. First of all, you've seen a lot of free agent movement in the NFL, Bobby, and I'll tell you, of there to be a time of great tumult, tumultuous, a lot of movement, that kind of stuff, a time of great tumult in NFL free agency, I don't know that I would have expected post-pandemic 2020 in 2021 here to be that time. But nonetheless, there is more emotions than in a Chiefs offense taking place in all the different machinations that we're seeing. And there's two, of course, that stand out above everything else. No, Deshaun Watson does not have a new team yet, but there's a whole lot of development in his situation. I don't want to comment that at this point, but I will say hi, Precious. Before I move on to the next piece. But the really big thing
your man is missing, by the way. Your man is missing, so.
No, he don't get, he ain't nothing scandalous. He's late from work. He's not missing like that. Bobby trying to throw shade. Damn.
Yeah, here. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, yeah, you gotta be careful with that. You don't talk about somebody's betrothed being missing. That's dangerous, Bobby Blackjack. You're old enough to know better than that.
I used the wrong adverb. I don't know. I forget. It's been so long.
Well, I'll put it this way. That's up there with, you never ask a lady if she's pregnant. You never tell a woman with a betrothed or somebody with a ring that they're missing. There's no good that could come from that.
Anyway. You're right. My bad.
No, it's always fun to be silly. And hey, if it's more of an opportunity for us to talk to and about Precious, that's a win for both of us, partner. Anywho, speaking of things that were precious, movement involving people who have Drew Rosenhaus as a super agent was really precious if you happen to be involved with the New England Patriots this season. Now, let's get one thing out of the way crystal clear. Can we stop with this trash-ass fan take that he's only doing it to catch up with Brady. Listen, folks, Billy B knew he was in for a rough year upcoming, and not just because Thomas Edward Brady would not be his quarterback under center going into 2020. That was just the thing that happened. What we did also note, right, if you're paying any attention, how many opt-outs took place on that roster defensively. And a lot of those guys are coming back. Kyle Van Noy among them, I think the biggest name in that particular mix. But the amount of firepower that they've picked up, what is it, $137 million or somewhere in that range at one point for the Patriots to bring guys in the building. And like, I think the biggest name among them, not to say the other players aren't relevant. We did also know somewhere in that range at one point, the big name in that group being Hunter Henry, right? The now former Los Angeles Chargers tight end, right? And we could probably all safely say that the Patriots needed help at that particular position, right? But all this talk of he's just trying to catch with Brady, folks, Billy B didn't do anything that the Patriots normally wouldn't do necessarily. Granted, that's a lot of money that the Patriots aren't known for spending in a single offseason. Obviously, I'm the student of the game. I'm not that dumb. But when you really look at the pickups made, other than Hunter Henry, and I could even argue possibly that he kind of falls into this group, but I'll leave it at that. This is a bunch of players that don't get a lot of play, but aren't necessarily bad at their position, right? I've heard too many people say, Nelson Agholor sucks. Nelson Agholor may not be as good as his draft pick warranted, and he may not be, he's a disappointing guy because of injuries, and he hasn't done everything that a team may have expected him to do. And hey, if I remember correctly, he used to play in Philadelphia. Disappointing Philly fans is not a difficult thing to do. I think you'll agree with that, Bobby Blackjack.
Yeah, but hold on 1 second, though. You're missing Jonnu Smith. So they signed the top 2 tight end free agents in football to the same.
Yeah, he might be the next best tight end. He might be the next best tight end prospect. But if I were to say to you, who's more likely to make the Pro Bowl, you wouldn't pick Sonu first, would you? I wouldn't.
I don't know. He's been a rising star steadily the past couple of years. So what it tells me is that Belichick is going back to Fernandez and Gronkowski. Hernandez. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Hernandez. Yeah. No, and you're absolutely right. They haven't, and this is a team that likes running it with 2 tight ends. And speaking of teams that run with 2 tight ends, there's the host, my compliment tight end in this ace of formations, Danny Thompson in the building. Don't worry, we're not wasting our time with college basketball yet, so we haven't really done anything where you are absolutely necessary at this time.
Well, you know what? The one thing is about this offense, it's great to have the double tight end set, but when you don't have, the starting left tackle of the team on the field, it doesn't really work that way. All right,
and I believe they made an acquisition or 2 on the offensive line, but at the end of the day, there's still plenty of time as well for that to be added in. But great point by you involving the offensive line, no question at all there. No, I'm definitely with you on that.
Well, guys, after some technical difficulties, we got the show started tonight. So, like I said, welcome to the show for those who've never seen us before. Where I apologize. I feel bad for you've never seen the show before. For all our wonderful folks,
you led with the handsome one.
Hey, I mean, listen. For those who are back to being normal on the show, guess what? Welcome back. All right, so better late than never.
Before I go, to say hi to your bride, your future bride,
your fiance. Bing! Okay. There it is. Perfect.
All right.
Bobby said you were missing, and I'm like, don't say that to a man that put a ring on her finger. What you doing? Anyways.
All right. So I guess we were talking Tennessee Titans because Jonnu Smith had just
no. What we were talking was all about the free agency movement with the Patriots. I mean, to me, that was definitely the lead to go into if we're talking about NFL free agency. I was contending that the biggest name on the list, and it really wasn't close, was Hunter Henry. Bobby Blackjack, producer extraordinaire, disagreed, say that Jonnu Smith is a big deal too. Apparently, Cortland does not agree. So, hey, I am serving as a good spirit animal tonight. I tend to agree with him on this.
Well, I'll tell you this. I think the biggest move, the biggest acquisition for the Patriots in the first 24 hours of legalized free agency, because we don't talk about the tampering days.
Well,
was Robert Kraft's checkbook.
Good point.
The only bad part about Robert Kraft cutting this checkbook open is the last 5 teams that went out and spent more money than anybody else didn't win a single playoff game the following season.
I saw that stat, and I would come back with this. Please say that with the fairness of the uniqueness of the previous year, right?
It doesn't, the uniqueness, whatever it is, statistics show when you spend money on guaranteed contracts, it does not work all the way it's intended to work. But I will say this about the Patriots. The Patriots missed a lot of guys on defense last year due to opt-outs, and unfortunately, Patrick Chung retired today, so that takes one of the key members away from the defense. What they did do was they finally gave Cam Newton some weapons to throw to. All right,
and don't forget, still retaining Kyle Van Noy for whatever that's worth.
Well, Kyle Van Noy, I think Van Noy opt out last year.
He did.
So he's one of the guys that opts out and returns. So they get him back. I think they get Dante Hightower back. They get guys they missed last year back.
No, Van Noy went to Miami.
Really?
That's how much we got to pay.
They just cut him.
Like I said, we didn't know he was we didn't know that's how much of an impact he had in Miami. We don't even know he was there. The one thing about this is what the Patriots have done is give Cam Newton weapons. All right. They've given him weapons in the Patriot format. Julian Edelman's healthy. All right, that's one thing. Julian Edelman returns after injury, after missing most of last season. They still have the double tight ends, and Hunter Henry's going to make things easier. I know Courtland's saying that 500 yards for a volume catching tight end isn't a thing you game plan for, but when you have two 500-yard tight ends and 2 of them that are really good down the field, it's going to work. Cam Newton's not expected to throw the ball 70 yards down the field, but what he does is he has 2 emergency safety valves that will make defenses pay attention. The Patriots' success, Kyle, we've seen in the past, has been with double tight ends. Josh McDaniels knows how to use
ace formation, no doubt.
And Josh McDaniels knows how to use double tight ends very, very well. I think Jonnu Smith will get in space. I'm not saying he's a 1,000-yard receiver. And Hunter Henry's not a 1,000-yard receiver. But in the Patriots' offense, things are going to be easier for one Cameron Jarrell Newton. And yes, I'm saying his full name now because he's not a Carolina Panther anymore.
But he has not earned middle name treatment, sir.
Well, listen, when you win an MVP in this league, you get middle treatment. You get middle name treatment from me. You won the MVP.
You know what? That's fair. Say it one more time for those that missed it the first time around. I was still kind of shocked.
Cameron Jarrell Newton.
Jarrell. Okay. I like that.
Yes.
Jarrell. Okay.
Yes. So when you have Cam Newton back there, being able to throw to actual receivers instead of throwing to grocery store employees, things would be so much better. All right. I'm not saying they're going to win the division. And that's not what I'm saying now because we don't know what Tua Tagovailoa is going to win in Miami this year. Now, the fact of the addition of Will Fuller, I like the addition of Will Fuller.
So do I. But if we're going to talk about this division and who's winning it, you go to Tua? No. The conversation is still Buffalo.
I'm not saying that Buffalo is not the favorite, Kyle. I'm just saying when you look at the other divisions, like the other teams in the division, the Jets are actually making moves. Okay. I'm not saying the Patriots are going to win the division with these moves, but the Patriots become very, very competitive in this division now. This is not a Buffalo runaway like it was last year. Kyle, I think you agree with me on this one. Buffalo's not winning this division by multiple games, like 3 or 4 games like they did last year.
Well, I mean, remember this too, Danny Thompson. I had the Patriots sneaking into the playoffs with that 7th spot. And ladies and gentlemen, remember that 7th spot's a big deal, right?
Yeah.
I had them sneaking in the 7th spot with an 8-8 record. I was 1 game off. If you had that much COVID issues, if your quarterback had COVID and then was never the same again for the rest of the season, and you are still 7-9, I can argue that's more impressive than Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl with the roster that he did.
I'm gonna say I kind of disagree with that one.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I think it's a good argument. And you could put a substantial argument. I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm not sure if I buy it yet or not, but you could make the argument that and sound relatively eloquent doing it.
I'll say this: Cam Newton didn't have a fair chance behind the stake last year. That's why they brought him back. Because guess what? In the Patriot way, Patriot quarterbacks don't make a killing in the salary cap. That's just how it works.
And on top of that, for practical purposes, Danny Thompson, you saw how many receivers they got and how much money they spent on it. If you don't have a set starting quarterback and you're trying to recruit receivers, that's not a good look, right?
Very good point by Vince in the chat. They need to make because they're in a very competitive division. The Patriots, with all their moves, can get themselves at 8-8, 9-7. I don't see that they can't be a 500 above team next year.
Which makes them playoff worthy in the AFC. Let's call that what it is.
The AFC is much more balanced outside of Kansas City. Okay, It's Kansas City and everybody else. And Cortland's right. Buffalo is the favorite. We're not taking Buffalo's stats away from being the favorite.
I don't know about Miami not far behind, though. I need to see a lot more from the quarterback position before I go that far in.
Well, I'll say this: Buffalo will lose one game off their predicted record because they signed Mitchell Trubisky today, so that's an automatic loss. They automatically one loss for starting him as a backup.
Hey, listen. All I'll say is this: the dude went from a Pro Bowler to a backup in 3 years, but apparently it's Matt Nagy's fault. Take that, Bears fans, you fools. No, honestly, I think as backups go, I think Trubisky's a good fit because he's at least mobile. And, so long as he doesn't turn the ball over several times, he might win a game or two if they need him. And in theory, if you lose your quarterback, you're hoping it's not that long. A quarterback – if the quarterback is out 4 games and the backup goes 2-2, mission accomplished, right? And I think Trubisky's good enough to achieve that, depending on who they play, right?
I mean, listen, Mitchell Trubisky's better than Nathan Peterman.
Way to set that bar nice and high. Mitchell Trubisky as a backup is more impressive than the Niners allegedly talking to Joe Flacco.
And that's why you're drinking right now. I get it.
Damn straight, Danny Thompson. You're damn straight.
It feels like, as a 49ers fan, Kyle, after having the last 24 hours go your way, you re-signed Trent Williams. You get Alex Mack basically off the clearance rack because Atlanta couldn't afford to re-sign him.
Do I owe you a Christmas card, Danny Thompson?
No. You owe the fact that Atlanta has a bunch of overpaid offensive linemen anyway. All right.
That's a fact, yes.
I mean, everybody complains about Matt Ryan's salary cap number, but he took a $13.5 million pay cut to keep the salary cap at a low number this year. All right. It's only a $26.5 million number for Matt Ryan. Okay.
Only 25.6.
It was 40 million.
Yeah.
The only bad part is
No, dog.
I'll say this. What we learned about the Matt Ryan restructure is Atlanta's not taking a quarterback at number 4. Because with the restructure of the contract, has basically put Matt Ryan at over $40 million next year as a cap penalty, and the year after that, $48 million next year and 40 the year after that. Matt Ryan ain't come off the books to 2023, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Unless he retires.
I mean, listen, that's the only way that number comes off the books. Okay.
Yeah.
The Falcons have basically married themselves to Matt Ryan at 35, at 30, it's soon to be 36 years old. Ryan put up numbers last year. Ryan just couldn't tackle anybody last year, which make things even easier for the Falcons.
Yeah, as I say, the unfortunate thing, and I'm not saying this to talk trash, Danny Thompson. No. Unfortunately, the one number he didn't do well was wins. And as much as I make fun of your take about him being a first ballot Hall of Famer, what I will say is last year is not that man's fault. Of course, the 49ers are underrated, Vince. That's what happens, and I love it.
Well, the one thing about the 49ers is that here's the thing. We've now learned in the NFL draft, as of right now, there are 2 spots that are going to be up for the taking of the draft. Mm-hmm. I expect Miami to probably trade. If they don't go offense lineman or maybe one of the receivers, I expect them to trade down. I expect Atlanta to trade down at 4 at this point because there's too many teams that need quarterbacks that would love to move up. And Atlanta needs to get more talent.
Bingo, especially on defense, right?
Listen, Atlanta needs skill positions on all levels, with the exception of Grady Jarrett and Deion Jones, because Keanu Neal is gone, okay? Because we couldn't afford to keep him. Atlanta has got to figure out how to fill the defensive problems they have. We have a brand new defense. Dean Pease comes in as the defensive coordinator, so they have to be able to get his type of players back there. So what do you have to do? You have to go out and go sign some. You have to go out and get them in the draft. And I think moving off of the 4th overall pick, moving down, I'd say maybe talk to Carolina, who needs a quarterback. Maybe I've even heard Detroit might be interested in the quarterback of the trading Jared Goff because they traded for Jared Goff. Denver's looking.
Does that mean you would scoff at Goff?
Listen, Lions fans are scoffing at front office for Goff. You have Denver who needs a quarterback. And you know what, Kyle? I'll be honest with you. Even your 49ers need a quarterback at this point.
Well, okay. So let's address that really quick, shall we? Just because it's one thing to test the market and look at things in the interest of getting an upgrade, right? Peyton Manning was even considered when he was doing his off-season tour as a 49er option with Alex Smith there, fresh off of an NFC Championship appearance, right? While he was looking around. Why? Because Alex Smith was not as good as Peyton Manning at that time, even at age whatever the hell he was, okay? Now, the reason why it didn't work was because Jim Harbaugh allegedly was talking smack with Peyton Manning, and that didn't go well. But the punchline is this, my friend.
Mhm.
It's one thing to find an upgrade. It's another to say a guy does not belong as the starter of the 49ers. And the fact of the case is this, Danny Thompson, when they start their record, their record is way better than they don't. And he's one throw away from winning the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll say this. When you look at it from the perspective of this, Jimmy Garoppolo is in the same shoes as what was said before 3 days ago, one Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago. What I mean by that is, if either one of those two franchises, San Francisco, I think Chicago, and the Washington football team.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. My dude's off the rails. He said a team that was in the Super Bowl 2 years ago needs a quarterback more than the Washington Red Tails. Somebody, I'm retiring my spirit animal status from him.
He's actually got a good point there.
But he doesn't. Though.
No, listen. Here's my point to this. San Francisco, Washington, and Chicago, all right? Those three teams are a quarterback away from basically being a threat, and I say a serious threat, to Tom Brady and the Kansas City Chiefs as far as the Super Bowl realm in the ring, okay? If the 49ers got, let's just say, I don't know, Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, for example, you're going to consider them as a Super Bowl contender.
Because it's an upgrade. Yeah, again, the point is an upgrade.
What I'm saying is they need Jimmy Garoppolo, and I know you're a Garoppolo guy, I get it, the 1 year he got there, but Garoppolo is not the guy that's going to get you the Super Bowl. Mitch Trubisky's not going to be the guy to get you Super Bowl. And as much as I love Ryan Fitzpatrick in Washington, one thing about Ryan Fitzpatrick, it don't last for the full season.
Yeah. Well, do you really think he's there to actually start, or do you think he's there for an experience thing? I mean, I feel like the reason Fitzpatrick's there is because Heineke or whatever the hell we're calling him.
Meineke?
Yeah, exactly. The Muffler Man has had a grand total of one awesome show out against Tom Brady. Okay? They're being more prudent than the Denver Broncos were with one Brock Osweiler. Okay, right? Brock Osweiler, his first start, did his job. Okay? Same thing with Heineke. In a playoff game that we saw where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were this close to being a first-round exit instead of Super Bowl champions, right?
Exactly. So, what I'm saying is, if you give Denver a quarterback right now, Kyle, I'll be honest with you, if you give San Francisco a top 10 quarterback, if you gave San Francisco Matthew Stafford, okay, do you believe you're a threat to win the Super Bowl?
No more than with Garoppolo.
I disagree.
Well, that's a you problem. I'm sorry.
No, that's a victory. All right, as I was saying.
What are you talking about? Listen, you use the phrase he can't get them in the Super Bowl when he just did it 2 years ago.
No, Kyle, a lot of things happened 2 years ago. All right?
He stayed healthy.
I had hair 2 years ago.
No one noticed.
No, I had hair 2 years ago. Okay? All right? All right. I mean, listen. Bobby was DJing.
Again, another statement. Excuse me. I can't handle the factual stupidity from people I know who know better. What do you mean they're not winning? Look at the damn win-loss record. There is an opinion here. The facts of the case are that. It's that simple. That is a stupid statement.
Well, Kyle, answer my question. What was Jimmy Garoppolo's record to start last year?
When he was half injured most of the year? I don't know off the top of my head.
I'm just asking. Bobby Blackjack stat guy, our favorite New Jersey politician. Could you please,
New Jersey politician?
Can you please find out the record for Mr. Jimmy Garoppolo from last season, and as we continue. All right. So outside of the major moves in the quarterbacking carousel across the NFL, listen. Now, Kyle, I did hear something today, Kyle, that might be interesting to your 49ers. The Niners were interested in signing former Atlanta Falcons running back Todd Gurley.
Oh, God.
Well, no, but Gurley, it'd be a lower tier contract for Gurley to be in the rotation. In the 49ers running back rotation, not to be a lead back, but to be part of the running back rotation, especially on the goal line.
Yeah. Him as part of the committee is badass. Yeah, I agree with that.
And who would know how to use a running back better than Kyle Shanahan?
I mean,
You give Todd Gurley, Trent Williams, Alex Mack, and you get Todd Gurley in fourth quarters. We're not talking about first quarter. We're talking about second quarter. You have Mostert. You have Jeff Wilson Jr. You let Todd Gurley running at full-fledged speed in the fourth quarter, wearing down defenses. Here's the thing: the 49ers are missing one thing outside of a quarterback. All right, Bobby, thank you.
3-3 last year.
All right.
And one of them, he was broke as hell when he played against Miami. He had no business being on that field.
Thank you, Bobby.
Well, I'm sorry. Did the facts not tell your story properly, Danny Thompson? Mm-hmm.
He was 3-3 as a starter, Kyle. It was 3-2. If you want to even count the game he was broke, he was 3-2. That's not selling me on the Super Bowl. It's just not. It is what it is.
Okay. I mean, if you want to do that, I mean, you're better at data than this, Danny Thompson. I don't want to spend the whole show dunking on you.
No, but I'm also part of the visual eye test. There we go.
What visual eye test? The visual eye test would tell you any struggling he had is because he was hurt still. Stop it.
Listen, I don't believe in Garoppolo. I didn't believe in the all-year Super Bowl either.
Yeah, you didn't. You couldn't pronounce his damn name correctly.
And I didn't. I tried not to because he didn't deserve it.
And then he made it to the Super Bowl and shut you up. And now you're going to talk trash again. 8
passes in that championship game. Your running game got you to the Super Bowl.
I'm sorry. Did he fail to throw the ball against Minnesota? Is that a thing that happened?
Kyle.
Did he not beat Drew Brees in a shootout during the season? That's a thing that happened too. Hall of Famer Drew Brees that beat up your Falcons on a Rex? Yeah, that guy. Stop it. And listen, I'm not a Garoppolo guy. I just think there are people out there, not mentioning any names, that are too harsh on him.
Here, I'm not saying Garoppolo is trash bag material. I'm not saying that, okay? I didn't say he was trash bag, okay? I didn't say he was Teddy Bridgewater, all right? What I'm saying is, if you have a chance to upgrade your quarterback position and you have a good chance to go do it to win a Super Bowl, it is a good chance. You have a great chance with a better quarterback.
And the lead was I dig upgrades, and I know that he would be an upgrade. You heard me tell the Peyton Manning story. I agree. And by the way, Marty makes a good point about Gurley and KC getting some power in that backfield. It's a good plan. I like it.
No, I like Hilaire.
I do too. I don't. If they get Gurley, I don't think they get rid of Hilaire to do it.
No, what I also mean is that Gurley's an okay pass catcher, but you need to have serious hands to be able to block in Kansas City because of what they do. And Gurley's doesn't do is he's average to below average in pass blocking when you need him to do it. I've seen Gurley miss some serious blocks this year for Matt Ryan. Let Matt Ryan get killed back there when he was actually upright.
Kind of like Devontae Freeman, right there, Danny Thompson.
Don't do that. It hurts. All right. But no, I think Gurley would be a great fit in San Francisco. Listen, I say Gurley at this point in his career is a committee back. And Kyle, here's a question: did I see Kenyon Drake of the Arizona Cardinals sign somewhere else? Did he sign with the Raiders?
He went to the Raiders. I'm very surprised by that.
So who is the running back in Arizona? Is it going to be I don't know, AJ Green? Who's the running back for the Cardinals?
Maybe they're looking to the draft, Pun.
It'll be Fordham's own Chase Edwards.
You know what? Chase Edmonds was good last year. Actually, you know what? He
did his job,
and he's a good pass catcher too. You know what? Thank you, Bobby, for Fordham. There we go.
And to be honest, with the way that the Cardinals have upgraded their offensive line just a bit. I mean, they made some business move to make things work and keep that offense powerful, right? Patrick Peterson, no longer a Cardinal, for example.
And his signing in Minnesota was weird. I didn't like that.
That came from nowhere. They're trying to replace Xavier Jones. And
well, listen, they replaced their entire secondary last year to try to be cheap, and now you want to sign Patrick Peterson.
All of a sudden, you're trying to do a quick fix. Hey, a team that got rid of somebody good to try to save money and then put together a desperate deal to fill the gap at a position group, and it all went straight to hell? The Houston Texans.
Oh, I'm about to say New York Jets? Because they did that with Jamal Adams, let him go because they didn't want to pay him, but now they franchised the safety in his place who wants to do.
Your answer's better. Thank you, David Thompson.
Speaking of Russell Carrington Wilson, Kyle, before we switch over to college basketball, Russell Carrington Wilson was okay. I feel sorry for Bears fans. All right. But you got to give the Bears the A for trying, because Kyle, before it got out, the rumor was the Bears was giving up 3 first-rounders, 2 day 1 or day 2 picks, and 2 starters to the Seahawks for Russell Wilson. They turned it down.
Yep.
So I guarantee you one of those players in the deal was Kyle Fuller because they cut him today.
Mm-hmm.
So people can pick on the Bears they want to. They made their best effort to go get the Russell Wilson. They tried. I mean, 3 first-rounders, 2, I think, second-rounders, and 2 defensive starters wasn't enough. I don't know what the asking price for Russell Wilson is, but maybe the Seahawks didn't want to trade Russell Wilson inside the NFC.
Or golly, Danny Thompson, maybe it's like I've been saying for literally weeks. This is all posturing. At
Here's
the 11th hour, just like Drew Brees did, I'll let you get in. Just like Drew Brees did, right before it's time, the deal will be signed to assure Russell Carrington Wilson gets a bit more respect. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think it's about a paycheck. Russell Wilson, I don't think it's about a paycheck, Kyle. I think really it's about he wants to be protected. Like after a while, Kyle, getting hit by the 40, but getting hit by Aaron Donald hurts. Getting hit by Nick Bosa hurts. Okay.
Yeah, he'll be back. That's a good point.
And Chandler Jones is back too. So getting hit by him hurts even more. And JJ Watt's now in your division.
That's what you're talking about. You don't care about Chandler Jones.
I already told you Chandler Jones is a top 5 pass rusher. I told you this last year.
And you're still wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah, go look at the last 10 years. Who's top 5 in sacks, sir? Chandler Jones is number 4.
Go with your damn numbers, man. Listen. It's too bad you can't provide numbers with substance, man.
What do you mean, Kyle? You're 4th in the NFL in sacks in the last decade.
I don't know where you're even getting that number from, man. I got, I'll look at it.
Yeah, he's 4th. Because I think I think JJ is number 2 or number 1. I can't remember who. And Aaron Donald, I think Aaron Donald's right there too. But I think as far as like number of sacks,
you sure? I thought Donald was 1. I'm sorry. I mean, not to contradict you, but
no, I don't know. Donald wasn't 1. They're all. I think Donald's in the top 5. I don't think he was number 1. And I know he wasn't ahead of Jones. I think because Jones had 2 16+ sack seasons. But what I'm saying is, Russell Wilson just wants an offensive line. Russell Wilson wants to stand upright. And have they even signed Chris Carson yet?
Yeah, no, Cortland makes a great point. Like, say what you will about Thomas Rawls, who was the next best running back, in my opinion, after.
I said Chris Carson was so better than Marshawn Lynch. Chris Carson was a guy he can't be on the field. He keeps getting hurt.
Well, I don't know about Chris Carson being better than Marshawn Lynch. I don't know about
the best back since Marshawn Lynch.
I think it's Rawls, but they both have the same problem, not staying healthy. Right. And at the end of the day, Carson's still in the league. Rawls is not because of that injury issue. He was just not the same. When he was asked to carry the load when Lynch got hurt, when he first came in as a rookie out of Central Michigan, like he was good for 8 games and then like he hit the wall.
I think that when it comes to the end of the day, when it comes to the Seahawks, they're gonna have to maybe spend the entire draft on getting offensive linemen and maybe go get a tight end because Greg Olsen retired. They're gonna have to. I'm surprised one of the tight ends, either Hunter Henry or maybe even John Smith didn't end up in Seattle. I was surprised that one of them didn't end up with Greg Olsen now going into the booth with Fox. They don't have a tight end right now.
Who knows? And maybe they'll be in the sweepstakes to trade up to get Kyle Pitts. Maybe with your Atlanta Falcons. Who knows? I don't know.
That's fine, but here's the thing. Kyle Pitts ain't solving the fact that Russell Wilson gets hit all the time.
I didn't say he would. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, I'm saying, but trading draft capital that you don't really have a chance to trade to go get another weapon of offense is not going to protect Russell Wilson.
I agree with you. Now I'm telling you what the office might do.
If you trade up to maybe go get Penny Sewell, yes, yes, you go do it now. All right.
Well, Danny, real talk. As much as you've heard me crucify that offensive line, you know what I think they should do.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, you have to go do something. And I'm surprised they didn't go after Joe Thuney, that was from the New England Patriots before he ended up in Kansas City.
Or hell, with Nate Solder getting on the market at some point, at least get him something.
What's up, Bobby?
Seattle signed Gerald Everett.
Tight end. Okay, well, there's tight end. Joe Everett from the Rams. Solid tight end. Now, I wonder what his productions go like with Tyler Higbee, because Tyler Higbee was one of the double tight end set. He did take some of the attention away because you have games where Everett was good and there's games where Higbee was good. Maybe Everett might be even better because he has an actual solid quarterback in Russell Wilson getting the ball instead of Jared Goff. There are pluses and minuses to the signing. But okay, so that means the Seahawks need to go find offensive linemen or somehow dig up the body of one Steve Hutchinson to come back on the offensive line.
And no, that's a good point, Cortland. It would be kind of like Seattle when they picked up Jimmy Graham. Yeah, that was not a good signing in my opinion either. Listen, I said they might do it. That doesn't mean I think they should do it. No question. Good point with Eric Fisher too, man. I like that. He still doesn't have a phone. He was a cap casualty in KC. Go ahead, Danny.
But I also wonder about Eric Fisher's. You mentioned the word about health. Eric Fisher's health has not been good.
Right.
When he's in the game, listen. When he's in the game, he's there. But he's not in the game enough for me to say I need to go spend all this money. And you know what, Kyle? Speaking of spending money, there's still two free agents on the wide receiver position, 3 of them actually, that haven't found homes yet. We're talking about the former Detroit Lion wide receiver Kenny Golladay, who's still on the board. You still have Juju Smith-Schuster, the Pittsburgh Steelers, formerly Pittsburgh Steelers, and you have T.Y. Hilton. All 3 have not found homes yet.
I have forgotten that T.Y. Hilton is still on the market. I will be honest.
Now yesterday the New York Giants and Kenny Golladay had met yesterday. Right. Yes, and right on cue, Bobby. Right on cue.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants met with Kenny Golladay yesterday. They were working towards a deal. And now I like Kenny Golladay, and here comes Bobby. Bobby?
Golladay was with the Bears today, Giants tomorrow.
Now, here's the thing. Kenny Golladay and Allen Robinson will be a dynamic duo in Chicago. I'd love that duo wide receiver.
Here's the but.
The quarterback is Andy Dalton.
Ooh, whoa. Hold up. I don't know about this other stuff with Kenny G and T.Y. Hilton, but Juju Smith-Schuster across from Brown, I like the sound of that.
Where did Tennessee get the stimulus check or something?
I mean, listen,
did they get their stimulus check? Because
I didn't say they could afford him. I'm just saying I like the sound of that.
Yeah, listen, Kyle, I like the sound of Sonic at 10:30 at night, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get Sonic.
Yeah, but you're more likely to drive down the street than they are to fix their cap.
Listen, Kyle, Sonic is 30 minutes away from my apartment, so there's no way I'm going to be getting Sonic until 10:30 at night. All right.
Hey, but if we're going to dump on Tennessee, in fairness to our good friend Cortland, who's doing an excellent job in the comments, we got to mention Bud Dupree being an excellent signing for them, right?
Listen, they cleared all the cap space to get Bud Dupree coming off the ACL injury.
True.
Now, you know, I don't expect him because it's so late in the season to start week 1. But when he gets to be healthy, let's be honest, if he didn't get hurt, he's one of the 5 best free agents in the market. Okay. The Titans have 17 million in cap space. That's great. They still got holes on defense you got to fill. They just cut some corners. You still got some holes to fill. All right.
I thought they made some acquisitions at corner.
Yeah, but can you name any of them?
No, I could not.
Exactly. All right. There's still holes on defense, and they still got to be able to rush the passer. And I'll be honest with you, yeah, that Corey Davis is gone, but I don't really miss Corey Davis. They got to find another tight end. They still got to get another guy to play back downfield. I still think there's still a good, solid receiver away. I don't know if Juju's the guy because I think Juju's going to end up in New York with the Jets.
Oh, God, I hope not. That poor fool. Didn't he learn from watching Le'Veon Bell die, basically, in his career?
Listen, I think I'm giving the Jets the benefit of the doubt because I'm giving Robert Saleh a chance. I'm giving him a chance to try to do something in New York. All right.
Thank you for reminding me about Jenkins. I knew they had gotten somebody good. Yeah, they just announced Kevin Johnson today, I think just before we started the show. But yeah, Janoris Jenkins is not bad as a filler option. And I'll put it this way, Danny Thompson. With as balanced as their offense is, they can pull a page out of the Indianapolis Colts book in the Peyton Manning days and compete for a Super Bowl appearance by earning their GED. And I don't mean a general education degree. I mean a good enough defense. They don't have to be great on defense because they have a balanced offense that tends to not turn the ball over a lot, right? They don't need to have the best defense in the league. If they stay in the upper half, if they're 16th or higher, I think they're viable to repeat their division. But if, to your point, with some of the big players who have left and all the turnover that has happened, if they can't achieve that, then you're right, they're in trouble. I mean, obviously we'll have to see, but man, I don't know. Like it's all. I think you said it best. It's all about how Bud Dupree recovers. I mean, let's be clear about that, right?
Because Bud Dupree can provide the pass rush, and Jadeveon Clowney didn't provide what they got him.
Amen.
I mean, Bud Dupree is a double-digit sack guy. It's really what it is. Kyle, before we finish up the NFL side of things, talk about things that are trouble. All right, the New York Jets are expected to take a quarterback with the second overall pick, Kyle, which means what do you do with Sam Darnold? All right. Now, the Jets have also talked about trying to trade for Deshaun Watson with all the first-round ammo they have, like 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years. Kyle, here's my question. If you are, I don't know, let's just say a team that can use a young quarterback, all right? Are you willing to trade if you're the Denver Broncos, because the Broncos are in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, because as last check, our good friend of the show, Nashina Quick, she reported that and she tweeted about this a day or so ago, that Deshaun Watson would prefer to be traded to a team in the AFC. There's only one team in the NFC that he wants to be traded to, and that's Kyle's San Francisco 49ers. But Kyle, if you are the New York Giants, if you are the Denver Broncos, we don't know, but the Broncos have the interest in Watson. Would you trade the farm if you're the Denver Broncos to go get Deshaun Watson, or would you give up a number 2 and a 3 next year to get Sam Darnold?
Oh boy, that's a good question, Danny Thompson. I'm legitimately perplexed at that. I don't feel like the Denver offensive line is bad, right? I mean, when your quarterback is Drew Lock, how well can you truly evaluate an offensive line, right? I don't have the resources and capacity to watch every single solitary snap of the Denver Broncos and evaluate them.
There's not enough beer at Publix, but continue.
Yeah, right, exactly. And listen, as a side note, you act like I wouldn't enjoy my dude Deshaun Watson in San Fran. Please listen again.
You have a Watson jersey tomorrow, probably.
Well, listen. I'm gonna be responsible and wait for a paycheck first. Damn.
Exactly. It'll be JJ Watt and Deshaun Watson jerseys coming like tomorrow.
I can't get the JJ Watt jersey that quick because I gotta leave something on the Christmas list for my family.
Okay, you'll have Deshaun Watson's jersey, that's for sure. In the goal 49ers, you'll have that tomorrow. You'll be ordering it on eBay tomorrow.
That's true. I could order the red and they can get me the gold for Christmas. That's not a bad thought, Danny Thompson. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to happen either, because, I mean, not that he shouldn't have one, and granted, all these allegations and things that are landing, I don't think we want to talk about that tonight because we don't really have fights.
Well, it's not even that. It's too much uncertainty in this case.
Exactly.
And I don't want to talk about anything until stuff is concrete. But continue.
Correct. Yeah, and you're not saying that to silence me. Like, we both feel that way, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
But unless something like that drops his price, which I don't think will actually happen at the end of the day, as of today, I really feel like the Broncos is a great stop. Moreover, I think they have a lot of good young pieces, right? Their main pieces are pretty young. Do I have to point out Jerry Jeudy, for example, being one of the best receivers among rookies in the league? And, oh, by the way, pretty good compared to old guys too, I feel like, but the question becomes, what do the Broncos have other than picks? So that's where it kind of becomes precarious. Man, it's one of those where, depending on the move they make, I wouldn't knock them for it. And yeah, Cortland, you're right. I think Darnold would have the opportunity to be a talent, and I'll leave it at that.
So, Kyle, you answered my question, Kyle. So if you're the Broncos and you had a choice, would you give up 3 to 4 first-round draft picks, seconds, and other players in your roster for Deshaun Watson, or would you trade a second this year and a third next year for Sam Darnold off the Jets?
I would pull the trigger on Watson and hope that I could draw free agents that way.
Okay, not a problem. So speaking of things that are drawing, tomorrow is the NCAA tournament. I know we're going to talk NBA tonight.
Time out. I have new transition music for you guys. You ready?
Uh-oh. Here he goes.
All right, we're ready.
What the hell just happened? I don't know what just happened.
Bobby just found Brass Bonanza, the greatest goal song of all time. You know, Bobby, as we transition, thank you, Kyrie. As we transition from, we talk about picks, let's talk about we talk about the transition from picking to now the NCAA tournament. Yes, the NBA happened. We had a trade with PJ Tucker going to the Bucks, and the Rockets somehow get a pick they sent to Milwaukee back. All right, that's pretty much the NBA story for the week. All right, we'll talk NBA next week. Kyle, the NCAA tournament begins tomorrow. All right, March Madness is actually going on right now. The first 4 playing games are going on inside of Indianapolis right now. And Kyle, won't you wake up? The NCAA tournament's here, sir. Don't you do this to me, Ricky Bobby. We don't fall asleep during the NFL section, and you're damn sure not going to fall asleep during this part of the show. All right, March Madness is here upon us. And really, Kyle, this is the part of the year where I know, Kyle, you're not big on this, but this is the part where fans who don't watch college basketball watch college basketball starting tomorrow.
My back at work.
Uh-huh.
No, I'm looking at Cortland's comment. Drake made my bracket work.
Well, because Drake is playing tonight. They're playing with Wichita State. So
they are.
By the way, speaking of Drake, I heard he's after Kanye's wife there, ex-wife, huh?
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, the only thing I say about
Bobby
Kanye,
Blackjack, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, no, he'll be here all week. All I can say is that Drake's worth that Kanye's worth $6.6 billion right now.
And Drake has Canada.
Yeah, but I mean he ain't got $6.6 billion. All right,
he does not.
Kyle, NCAA tournament starts tonight. First 4 playing games tonight. Texas Southern took Mount St. Mary's to the wire 60-52, and Drake beat Wichita State, and Drake is the team with the most wins in college basketball season, 53-52. Other games going on right now. Halftime between Appalachian State in their first NCAA tournament and Norfolk State, 36-20 at half. Norfolk State ahead of Appalachian State, and the late game tonight. Right around about 10 minutes on TBS, you have Michigan State taking on UCLA, the battle of college basketball blue bloods, with a chance to go into the bracket. So what I'm going to do, Kyle, for the next, 20 minutes or so, is I'm going to go over the entire NCAA tournament, and Kyle, I want you to time me in 20 minutes. All right? So, Kyle, I want you to pick a bracket between the East, the West, the South, and the Midwest. You pick the bracket, and I'll break it down for you. I'll let you pick the bracket off the top of your head and go now. You pick the region, and I'll go over for everybody. Pick a bracket. North, South, East, or West, sir?
I think he's frozen. He is so uninterested that he's frozen.
Bobby, pick a bracket. We'll go from there, and we'll do the next 20 minutes, sir.
Here he is.
I don't know what the hell happened. I said South, but before you could hear me, my internet went down. It figures.
I said you were so uninterested that you froze yourself on screen.
I mean, listen, I wish I had that power, but unfortunately, I'm too loyal to my fam, Danny Thompson, to abandon him even when he's wasting my time with March Madness.
Look at this. Kyle, that face is great. So, Kyle, pick the region, and we'll start with it first.
Let's do the South, if you don't mind.
All right, let's start with the South region, and the top overall seed in that region is the Baylor Bears. Listen, the Bears are an outstanding team. All season long, they were basically punching everybody in the face in the Big 12, and they're one of the most talented teams with 2 potential first-round NBA, I'd say top 20 picks on their roster, and they have a bracket that's very interesting. Well, first off, they play Hartford on Saturday. I don't think that game is going to be really much of anything. Number 1 seeds in the tournament. If you're picking your bracket, they're 139-1 against 16 seeds. Okay, only 116 seeds ever beat a 1. All right, there's no way Baylor loses this game. I mentioned Jared Butler and Davion Mitchell, 2 NBA lottery picks. Expect those teams to blow those 2 guys to basically almost outscore Hartford. Their second round matchup, you have a battle between potentially North Carolina and Wisconsin. North Carolina, Kyle, if you're picking your bracket, is the best offensive rebounding team in the country. Nobody rebounds more and to more efficiency with North Carolina Tar Heels. There were 2 games in the ACC tournament, Kyle, where they had more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds.
That's hardcore.
Yes, Armando Bacot is probably the best offensive rebounder in the country, and Day'Ron Sharpe just made himself a guy in the lottery because of the fact that he comes off the bench and averages almost 9 rebounds a game coming off the bench.
That's ridiculous.
They also have in college, they have 3 big men, and the one big man I didn't mention, Walker Kessler, set the ACC tournament record as a freshman with 7 blocks in 8 blocks in the game against Florida in their first round game. Walker Kessler plays 15 minutes a game. He's the 4th big man on the roster.
He's trying to do his best Little John parody song. Block, 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 block. Everybody, block, 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 block. Okay, we can go on now.
The problem with North Carolina is that North Carolina, unlike other Carolina teams in the past, their point guard play is suspect, and they have no outside shooting. going against Wisconsin team that's always battle tested. Carolina should get through this bracket, so I think I take Carolina over Wisconsin, and I take Baylor over North Carolina. It's real simple. Baylor's going to run up and down against North Carolina, and they'll hit too many threes in that game. Other part of that first part of the bracket you're looking at, which is Villanova taking on Winthrop. The game is going to be up and down. Villanova is missing their starting point guard and Colin Gillespie. He's going to be missed more in round 2 than round 1. They should beat Winthrop. Purdue and North Texas. Hey, Kyle, with the NCAA tournaments in the city of Indianapolis, guess who has home court advantage? It's Purdue. Yay! They get one win. They'll win their first round matchup. They'll win their first round matchup against North Texas. And I think because Colin Gillespie's out for Villanova, they'll also take care of the second round against Purdue to get to the Sweet 16 where they take on Baylor. And unfortunately, Baylor will send Purdue home back to their dorm rooms. Bottom part of the bracket, the 6-11 matchup, which is Texas Tech and Utah State. If you're looking for a sleeper team in the tournament, Utah State is my sleeper. They play very good defense, and Neas Quinenta, if I said his name correctly, is a double-double walking machine. They're a top 10 team offensively and defensively and defensive efficiency in the country. Texas Tech has lost 7 games this year, Kyle, by less than 3 points.
Wow. Okay. I get it.
Bye-bye, Red Raiders. See you later. All right. In the 3-14 matchup, you have Arkansas against Colgate, and I don't mean the daggum freaking toothpaste. One thing about this game is, Kyle, if you want something that's entertaining, this game is on tomorrow at about 12:30ish and 12:30 afternoon. Kyle, this game will be a track meet. Neither team has the concept of defense, and they love shooting threes. This game, if you're going to pick a game in Vegas to be the over-under, this is the game that's going to be over. Arkansas has guys who can gun everywhere, and so does Colgate. Here's the problem. I don't trust Arkansas. All right. They look terrible in the SC tournament. They had every chance to win the SC tournament, and they couldn't. All right. I like toothpaste. Go Colgate. All right.
What the hell?
Colgate in the upset. I'm taking Colgate. So we have 11 and 14. Listen, Utah State and Colgate in the second round. Utah State will slow the game down, and Colgate won't make enough threes because the defensive efficiency of Utah State will get them into the Sweet 16. So you have an 11 seed in the Sweet 16 in that bracket. All right. Second, the bottom part of the bracket, Florida and Virginia Tech. Florida is the great story of the season. Keontae Johnson, he got hurt. I'm sorry. He collapsed on the floor against Florida State. He's actually, we thought his career was potentially over. He's actually back, not playing. He's actually coaching with the team. And Florida's the feel-good story of the tournament. Virginia Tech, a team that gets no respect out of the ACC, because guess what? The ACC got no respect because their conference champion in the tournament got a 9 seed. That should tell you the respect the ACC got this year. All right. I like Virginia Tech in this game. Very simple. I like their defense in this matchup. Ohio State taking on Oral Roberts. I don't mean the pastor. That's pretty much what it's going to be. Ohio State will blast through both Virginia Tech and Utah State to get to the Elite Eight where they take on the Baylor Bears. One thing about Ohio State is they're very gritty and very grimy, and they also play defense when it counts. They almost beat Illinois in the conference in the Big Ten championship game, and I like Ohio State in this game. So give me Ohio State to go to the Final Four. All right, Kyle, pick the next region.
Let's go East.
All right, let's start in the East region. Guess what? The East region have a very, very interesting format and an interesting draw in the East region. Top seeded Michigan, led by Juwan Howard, had a phenomenal season, but the problem is one of their best players is completely injured, and we don't know if he's going to be available. Not having a guy that's going to be Isaiah Livers, who's one of the double-digit scorer, has a foot injury. Listen, it's kind of rough to go deep in the tournament when you're leading, especially when your senior leaders is out. But Kyle, here's a guy for the future, especially if you're a Atlanta Magic fan. Hunter Dickinson, the big man from Michigan, is a beast as a freshman, is a load. 13 points, 9 rebounds a game, block shots. And Michigan, when he's on the court, opponents shoot 40% when he's on the court.
Wow. That's a good number.
All right. Their first round matchups against Texas Southern, because they won tonight. See you later, Texas Southern. There's no way the team wins that game. LSU and State Bonaventure, a game that's going to be contrasting in styles. LSU almost won the SEC tournament. State Bonaventure had a very interesting season in the A-10. Go ahead and give me the Tigers in this one. And I also will take Michigan to take out the Tigers to get to the Sweet 16. Colorado takes on Georgetown. Listen, Colorado feels like they get no respect. Well, you lost to Oregon State in the conference tournament. You lost to the Beavers, okay? Georgetown went in, Kyle, as the lowest seeded team in the history of the Big East to win the conference tournament. And by the way, that championship game against Creighton, they beat him by almost 30. Patrick Ewing got respect because he couldn't get to his ID check inside the Garden. And guess what? I don't believe in Colorado either. Hi, Georgetown. Welcome to round 2. In the 4-13 matchup, Florida State takes on UNC Greensboro. Listen, this Florida State team that we saw in the ACC championship game is not the Florida State team we're going to see in the tournament. Florida State played against one of the best defensive teams in the country in Georgia Tech and committed 25 turnovers in the ACC championship game. Scotty Barnes is the ACC freshman of the year as a sixth man. He's also a top 6 pick in the NBA draft. When you got guys who are that good coming off the bench, and Leonard Hamilton has been trying to break through the glass ceilings, give me Florida State not only to win that game, they're also going to knock out Georgetown, and I also got them beating Michigan to get to the Elite Eight. All right, bottom part of the bracket. BYU versus the winner of Michigan State and UCLA. One thing about UCLA is Johnny Jang, transfer from Kentucky, can score baskets. Michigan State's been up and down all year, so that one doesn't matter because BYU in the conference tournament was up by double digits on Gonzaga. Gonzaga had been beating teams by 10, 15 plus all season. All right. High second round for BYU as they continue as you get to round 2. All right. You got Texas and Aberdeen Christian. Listen, Texas was a top 5 team all throughout the entire season, and Shaka Smart was on the hot seat. They got cold late until they got to the Big 12 tournament, and they actually won it. Texas has players all over the court, and they can score buckets. Aberdeen Christian, that's not much of a matchup. Expect Texas to get to the Sweet 16 and also go deeper in the tournament. And I'll tell you where they're going to go in a second. UConn and Maryland, this would be a great matchup. This would have been 5 years ago. UConn only has one guy who can score, and he's averaging 20 points a game. But the problem with UConn outside James Boatnight, Kyle, is UConn averages 72 points a game, and one guy is averaging 21. That's a problem. Maryland is in the Big East, the Big Ten. That doesn't sound right. They're an ACC school.
They are.
Doesn't matter. I take Maryland in this game because Maryland has more guys to score. Alabama is the 2 seed in this region taking on Iona. The good news by Iona is that Rick Pitino is the first coach in the history of college basketball to lead not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 different programs to the NCAA tournament. Going against the Alabama team that has 2 guys and one guy named Petty. I like Petty. Petty and company, John Petty is one of the best scorers, one of the best all-around players in the country. They'll beat Iona in round 1. They'll also take care of Maryland in round 2. But the problem is when they get to the Sweet 16, they'll run to Texas. See you later, Texas. See you later, Alabama, as they won't win the national championship in football or basketball this year. Ooh. I'm taking Texas also to beat Florida State to get to the Final Four. So now we got 2 teams in the Final Four. I've chosen so far in the Final Four on both brackets. I have Texas on one end, and I also have Ohio State in the other one. Kyle, Midwest or West? Where are we going to go next?
Well, my mom is very intrigued by Illinois. We'll go there next, and I want to hear what you think Gonzaga's faced in the West last. So Midwest for now, my friend.
All right, the code number 1 in this entire bracket is the Illinois Fighting Illini. Listen, they have a guy who's dressed like Bane Batman, and Ayo Dosunmu. Great name and even better game himself. Kobe Cockburn, don't make the big name, as big as Shaq was in college. They have an inside-outside dynamic duo, and Cockburn's a huge guy to get out the paint. Listen, their first-round opponent, like I said, first-round matchups don't count for anything. The Drexel Dragons won't be much of a threat to them in the first round. All right, I expect Illinois to not only get past the first round, but get deeper in the tournament, and I'll say in a second. Georgia Tech and Loyola Chicago, listen, this game I had chosen Georgia Tech up until about maybe 3 hours ago when Georgia Tech lost the ACC Player of the Year, Moses Wright, to COVID 12 hours before the tournament. Georgia Tech goes in the tournament with arguably one of the best stories in the country. Moses Wright, Kyle, was the ACC Player of the Year 4 years after being a 0-star recruit. A 0-star recruit.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't either. He was a 0-star recruit to turn the ACC Player of the Year. Georgia Tech also has a defensive player near Jose Alvarado. Kyle, a guy who was a 3-star recruit from New York, who was told he is too small and too slow to play Division I college basketball. Josh Pastner has a team full of guys that have been overlooked. But when you don't have the ACC Player of the Year, I'm not sure that I'm going to keep them over Loyola Chicago. It's going to be a tough game for Chicago, but trust me, Illinois will whitewash them in the second round. The bottom part of the top part of that bracket, you have the Tennessee Volunteers taking on the Oregon Ducks. I'm sorry, the Oregon State Beavers. All right. Here's one thing about Oregon State. They somehow slipped themselves in the NCAA tournament because they shouldn't have been there. I don't care what Bill Walton says. All right. Tennessee's been up and down all year, but they got the right matchup because Oregon State don't need to be there. All right. See you later, Oregon State. Love the nickname. Wish the Beaver had been there to watch the game on television. All right. 4-13 matchup, Kyle. Now, this is another thing. Because you're in the Orlando region, if you watch anybody in the tournament, You watch Oklahoma State. Why? Cade Cunningham is the number 1 pick in the NBA draft in July. Okay, he's the hands down number 1 overall pick. Kyle, if you want to find somebody that reminds a guy of a former Magic player that never turned out something, Cade Cunningham is Grant Hill before the injury.
Yes.
We're talking Detroit Grant Hill with a 3-point shot. Cade Cunningham it has the ability to be Carmelo Anthony in this tournament. If you remember Carmelo Anthony at Syracuse, he led Syracuse to the national championship. All right. They beat Baylor in the Big 12 semifinals and almost won that game against Texas in the championship game. Kyle, he had 25 points in the second half. He almost brought them back. If they had another 5 minutes, they would have beat Texas. Oklahoma State not only would get out of round 1 in their first round matchup against Liberty, the Flames, they'll also get out of round 2 to beat Tennessee, but they'll fall short to Illinois because guess what? The Illini have enough defense to stop Cade Cunningham, and Cunningham has scored 30 in that game. So I have Illinois in the Elite 8.
Continue, it sounds like that would be the first big game they would face in their bracket up to that point.
Exactly. Bottom part of the bracket, you have 6 seed Syracuse against 11. So 6 seed San Diego State against Syracuse, the 11 seed. Listen, unlike other Syracuse teams, this is not your mother Syracuse team because the 2-3 zone is not as good as it is. But Buddy Boeheim gets buckets. If you want some guy who's going to be flame throwing in this tournament, he's the guy that's going to do it. Buddy Boeheim is a 3-point shooting threat, and he's Jim Boeheim's son. Problem is, San Diego State plays very good team defense, and they'll make sure Buddy Boeheim will struggle throughout the entire game. Give me the Aztecs. 3-14 matchup, West Virginia against Morehead State. Kyle, if you're looking for a team that reminds you of a WWE team with the physicality, it's West Virginia. All right?
Now, that's my kind of team.
Yes. They are nasty, and Bob Huggins is physical. That's what they're going to do to teams in poor Morehead State. See you later, Morehead State. Also, at the same time, San Diego State, see you later, too. West Virginia gets to the Sweet 16 at that point. Bottom part of the bracket, Clemson and Rutgers. Well, Kyle, poor Rodney's not in the chat because Clemson is a team that started out really good this year. They ended up really bad, but they got the tournament. Yes. Rutgers, on the other hand, who the hell watches Rutgers? But Rutgers has some guys in their team, Kyle, including a guy that you probably grew up watching whose son plays for Rutgers, and that's Ron Harper Jr., one of the lead scorers for Rutgers. I like Rutgers in this game. Now, they'll be playing in the second round, the 2 seed, which is Houston and Cleveland State. All right, Cleveland State finally made the NCAA tournament. Big shout out to Ellie Broadus' neck of the woods in Cleveland State. Problem is, the tournament will be just about as fast as their rise to the ascension is. Quick, simple, and see you later. Houston will run through round 1, also run through round 2, which would be Rutgers, and also they'll run into a West Virginia team that's too physical for them. Give me Illinois and West Virginia in the Elite 8. Give me Illinois to the Final Four. So now, Final Four matchups. Final Four, we have Illinois now taking Ohio State in one half of the bracket, and then you have just barely Texas waiting on their opponent, Kyle. So let's break down the West region, and then we'll get to the Final Four and who I got winning the whole thing. All right, good. Kyle, Gonzaga's the number 1 team in the country this year, and they walked in this thing undefeated into the NCAA tournament. One thing about Gonzaga, Kyle, they haven't been winning. They've been beating the brakes off everybody. All right, Kyle, they go into the tournament, Kyle, not only just playing great defense, Kyle, they give up, Kyle, 69 points a game, Kyle, but they scored 92 points a game.
Damn.
Okay. And Kyle, here's the thing. People say Gonzaga hasn't played anybody. Oh, yeah? They beat second seed Iowa. They beat Kansas. They beat Virginia by 23, by the way. They beat BYU 3 times this year, and they beat West Virginia. Kyle, in most years, Kyle, the talent that Gonzaga has, including Jalen Suggs, another guy the Magic fans should be watching for.
Right.
Drew Timme, and also and Corey Kispert. Kyle, this is the best team Mark Few's ever had. But the problem is they go into this tournament undefeated. And that's a scary number because only the last time a team has gone undefeated, Kyle, and won the whole thing was Indiana back in I think it was 87. They won the national championship when they went undefeated. That's just last time a team went to the tournament undefeated was Kentucky. That was the Anthony Davis team that should have won the whole thing, by the way. Their first round opponent will be the winner of Norfolk State and Appalachian State. Well, the good news is the winner of that game will only win 1 game of the tournament. The bad part is they'll be home in their dorm rooms by Sunday. All right, they'll be by Sunday night. Oklahoma and then Missouri play in the 8-9 game. Missouri, I had Oklahoma winning this game. There's one problem, Kyle, in this tournament. Oklahoma lost their second leading scorer today due to COVID. Missouri has struggled. Give me Oklahoma, and I don't really too feel good about that one. But I expect Gonzaga to punch Oklahoma in the mouth to get to the Sweet 16.
Right. Who cares who wins that game? Gonzaga's got the next bracket. Moving on.
5-12 matchup is Creighton versus UC Santa Barbara. All right. Creighton, before the whole Greg McDermott scandal, was actually playing some good basketball. Ever since Greg McDermott said some things about players staying in certain locations,
oh boy,
Creighton hasn't been good. And getting whitewashed in the conference tournament in New York City, I think Creighton players have kind of packed it in. Hi, UC Santa Barbara. Welcome to round 2. All right, I'll take UC Santa Barbara the upset. The other matchup, the 4-13 matchup, Kyle, Virginia taking on Ohio. Listen, Virginia is a team that dealt with COVID last week, and they're going to be dealing with COVID again this week. Kyle, they have players who are literally flying in, Kyle, literally on Friday, tomorrow, to try to play the game on Saturday, be quarantined, and Virginia, who is just now arriving in Indianapolis tomorrow, Kyle, will have to go through 12 hours of quarantining and having to go through a Saturday morning practice before playing a game on Saturday night against Ohio. Kyle, you love good stories. Ohio has a point guard named Jason Preston. Kyle, he fun. To quote the Water Boy, he fun. He fun to watch. He scores, he rebounds, he shoots, and he passes the ball. He might be a guy that might go 17-7-7, Kyle, and knock down a few threes in this game. He's fun to watch, and guess what? He is super energetic. It's kind of hard to pick against Virginia, but I like Virginia in this game, but it's going to be, Kyle, one of those games that's going to be a barn burner, and it wouldn't surprise me if Ohio wins. Virginia is going to beat UC Santa Barbara because Virginia should have everybody back, including the players that are missing due to COVID, and for round 2, which will be on the 22nd, which I think is Tuesday or Wednesday. But don't expect Virginia to beat Gonzaga in the Sweet 16. There's no chance on that one. See you later, Virginia. Gonzaga's in Elite 8. All right, bottom part of the bracket, another guy. Well, I don't think the Magic are going to take him. Well, you know what? The Magic take guys who are long anyway. They take height anyway. Evan Mobley, Kyle, USC, 6'11". And Kyle, he's not only the freshman of the year in the Pac-12, he was also the player of the year in the Pac-12, and I think he was also the defensive player of the year in the Pac-12, Kyle. He was everything for USC this year, Kyle. Listen, Evan Mobley, Kyle, is a top 5 pick of the draft, and listen, he's also averaging 17 points a game, and USC is top 10 in the country in rebounding and block shots. Here's the problem. USC is also known as the Dwight Howard University. Not one player on this team shoots over 70% from the free throw line. They get in the close game. You want to foul them starting in the first 5 minutes of the second half and get them in the penalty. USC can't hit free throws worth anything. It's going to hurt them later on in the tournament. But they're playing Drake, and I don't mean the singer, and I don't think Degrassi's coming back either. Give me USC in that game. Kansas versus Eastern Washington. Yes, Kansas is missing players due to COVID, but Eastern Washington's Eastern Washington. Hi, Kansas. Oregon taking on VCU. Listen, I love Puddles the Duck more than any other mascot in college sports. Puddles is my favorite mascot. He's a duck. And if you also put Puddles fighting on YouTube, you see where he beat up the Houston Cougar on the sideline. Okay? Puddles has got skills. The problem is Puddles ain't traveling because mascots aren't allowed in the tournament. VCU, even though Shaka Smart's gone, they still run the 40 minutes of having defense. I like VCU in this game because they're going to press Oregon, even though Oregon's got shooters. Expect VCU to get to round 2. Iowa and Grand Canyon, listen, people are not going to like Iowa because of Luke Garza, who probably might win the Wooden Award for the country's best player, Kyle. He's averaging 23 points, 9 points a game, Kyle, but guess what? He's from Iowa, so you already know what that means. He's a very big, tall guy of a certain... Yes.
Yes, a corn-fed individual, if you will.
Yes, but this corn-fed one can play. All right, he's a low post monster. He's going against Grand Canyon. And I don't mean the actual land monument. It's actually a college coached by Bryce Drew, former Valparaiso stud, and also one of the architects of one of the greatest March Madness plays of all time. Unfortunately, Bryce Drew's not playing in this game. He's coaching this game. Give me Iowa, not only to win that game, but also dunk over VCU and also fall short to Kansas in the Elite 8. But guess what? Nobody's beating Gonzaga in this bracket, so I have Gonzaga in the Final Four. So, Kyle, we have Gonzaga, Texas, Ohio State, and Illinois in the Final Four. Texas and Gonzaga is my first game in the Final Four. Listen, as good as Texas is, Gonzaga has 3 first-round picks, potential 3 first-round picks in the NBA draft. Mark Few gets to the championship game. You said, now, who is the Illinois fan, Kyle, in the family?
Well, my mom has people in Illinois. She's from Illinois herself.
Well, listen, their fans will be celebrating getting to the championship game because, listen, it's a rematch of the Big Ten championship game won by the Illinois Illini just a week ago. The Illini won that game in overtime. It was a classic game. Very, very good down to the stretch. A couple turnovers for Michigan, for Ohio State late in the game costed them. Now, Kyle, it's very rare that a team plays another team in college basketball 4 times a year, but this will be the 4th time they played this year. Illinois is 2-1 going in this game, and I have Illinois 3-1 with it's over with. All right, championship game, Gonzaga and Illinois. The 2 best teams in the tournament get to the Final Four. It's real simple. Gonzaga is a team with talent. Illinois might have the best guard in the country with a chip on his shoulder. And listen, there's nothing better than watching a guy with a black Bane mask go out there and getting buckets. The difference is Jalen Suggs is a completely different animal. Corey Kesper is really good, but I love Jacob Tamme in this game. Gonzaga cuts down the nets. I have them win the championship game 82-76, Kyle. So that's 67 games. I picked 67 games out of 68 teams. My national champion is Gonzaga. So my Final Four, once again, is Gonzaga, Texas, Ohio State, and the Illinois Fighting Illini.
So it's not entirely chalk, but it is represented. It is represented by a healthy amount of chalk, right? I mean, obviously you got the 2 first seeds in Illinois and Gonzaga, and then Texas is a 3 seed?
A 3.
Yeah. And then Ohio State is
a 2.
A 2. So it's not chalk.
And listen, for those picking their brackets at home, chalks only happen 3 times in the Final Four. It doesn't happen very often.
That's right.
So don't choose chalk. All right. I finished it, Kyle. And Bobby, what's the time on this one, Bobby? What time are we at?
You're just over 20 minutes.
11-11.
Okay, but
10,
how many?
10-11.
10.
Sorry, yeah. So I'm that.
I thought he started at 9:50, but okay.
Yes, Cortland. I didn't choose Ohio State or Oklahoma. I chose Ohio State in the Final Four, not Oklahoma State. Yes, exactly. All right. Listen, it is what it is. Check me out in the 3-point conversion bracket. I'll put it on the Facebook page if you want to join it. If you can see if you can outpick me in the tournament. Wonk, wonk, wonk. All right, before we get into Mount Rushmore, Kyle, like I said, we did talk NBA for a minute. The PJ Tucker trade went through. Tucker's going to the Milwaukee Bucks to solidify the offense they needed. And it's an interesting signing, trade. I don't think it's going to put the Bucks over the top, but the Bucks were impressive last night, Kyle. Basically scoring 31 points in the first half as a team against the Philadelphia 76ers to beat the Sixers in overtime. Also, before we start talking about Rushmore, Kyle, another big story today, Kyle, this was huge. The NFL television contracts came out today.
Yes.
Oh, we want to talk to this before we get to Mount Rushmore. So listen, for those who don't know, the reports of NFL Sunday Ticket going to ESPN Plus have not been officially made, but that was the big story of the day as NFL Sunday Ticket is reportedly go bye-bye. At the end of the 2020-23 season, NFL Sunday Ticket will be headed to ESPN Plus. That means those who don't have DirecTV will now have to go get an internet provider. Also, Kyle, a historic signing of a deal that Amazon now controls Thursday Night Football. Great. So now I can enjoy my Amazon packages with the worst schedule you're going to find on football. Now, I wonder how much pull Amazon's going to have this because they gave a huge check, Kyle, to the NFL to start hosting Thursday night games.
If I may, I believe they are exclusive on the Thursday night games now.
I wonder, Kyle, if they're going to let NBC still have the opening Thursday game. That's the way, because it wasn't said in the contract. Interesting. Because if that's the case, Kyle, it's going to be interesting to see Amazon having all games on Thursdays. All right. Also, ESPN has now expanded their coverage to the point where ESPN and Disney now have 2 Super Bowls. So in 2026 and 2030, wow, we're talking about 2030 already. The Super Bowl is going to be on ESPN and Disney. Great. I'm all for it. ESPN does a great job with the college football playoff. Their coverage is still is second to none, Kyle. Their championship game coverage on like the 68 networks they have, where they use basically, you have coaches cams, players cams, fan cams, mascot cams. They have every player cam you're going to find and all analysts everywhere on a full-out blitz. I think they do a great job with it. I can't wait to see it. All right.
Still don't have Tony Romo.
No, Kyle, they don't have Tony Romo. All right, you're completely correct. Now, Kyle, some of the other things that happen in this deal is ABC gets 2 Super Bowls in 2026, like I said, with the other 3 networks getting 3 Super Bowls apiece. Now, Kyle, there's other few things that's going to be interesting. ESPN added 6 new games into the network, and now there are going to be 3 doubleheaders on Monday nights. All right? And there will also be, with the games being on ESPN and ABC. So the early game is going to be on ESPN, with the late game being on ABC on Monday nights for 3 times a year. Another interesting another fact, Kyle, is that there's going to be 1 Saturday doubleheader of the year and 1 Sunday morning game streamed nationally on ESPN Plus, aka the Jacksonville Jaguars London game is probably going to be the one that's at ESPN Plus at 9:30 in the morning. All right.
Right.
But Kyle, here's one more huge announcement, Kyle, and this is something that they have not done before. Starting in week 12, Kyle, ESPN will be able to flex Monday night football games.
What?
The final 7 weeks, the final 5 weeks of the season. So, Kyle, there'll be no more terrible Monday night football games.
No, that actually makes me very unhappy as somebody who refuses to cave and pay extra for ESPN. That is I am not thrilled by that news.
Well, I mean, the good thing with the ESPN Flex package is that they'll be able to include teams up to 4 teams 2 times each during the flex period. All right. Also, ESPN will still have the NFL Draft and the Pro Bowl, and ESPN Primetime will go back to ESPN Plus on Sunday nights. All right. ABC doesn't change anything. NBC will also include flex packages games. Now, that's going to be the interesting thing the last half of the season between NBC and ESPN or Disney fighting over flex games on Sunday and Monday nights. I would love to be in those boardrooms when those situations happen.
Well, I'm sure that's stipulated in the contract, but I don't see why Football Night in America wouldn't get higher billing over Monday Night Football.
Well, it's interesting. Also, during the contract, NBC, CBS, and Fox will have the ability to stream the games they hold the rights to on their social media, on their media platforms. So if you have a Fox game, it can be shown on all Fox networks across the United States. Also, Kyle, there's going to be, like I said, a Sunday morning international game, ESPN Plus, starting in 2022, and additional games, including Saturday games. And also, ESPN will cover more playoff games, Kyle. For the upcoming season, ESPN will add 2 more Saturday games with playoff implications in the final week of the season, Kyle. So guess what? There'll be more flex football on Saturday.
Nice.
But it'll be games that have playoff implications. So
that makes sense.
So our Saturday games won't be boring. And guess what? There'll be no Carolina Panther games on ESPN or NBC because no one cares.
Ooh.
All right. Talking about my Falcons. All right. Now on this show. All right, Kyle. Now it's time for Mount Rushmore, Kyle. So me and Kyle's favorite part of the show, where me and Kyle and Bobby all pick a topic, and guess what? We discuss it. Bobby, a couple weeks ago, you came up with an idea for a Mount Rushmore, so tonight is your call. What's the topic we have Mount Rushmore, Bobby?
I thought we discussed that already. You already mentioned that.
Okay, it's gone. All right, I don't remember at this point. All right, my memory's back. What more do you want from me? All right, so Kyle, let's talk about. It's our favorite time. It's becoming a rare passage, Kyle. It's becoming springtime. It's great. Now, Kyle, we always talk about traditions this time of year, Kyle, but let's talk about holidays. Now, there are different holidays. We had St. Patrick's Day pass this week. St. Patty's Day for those who like to drink beer and wear the color green. But Kyle, what is your Mount Rushmore of holidays?
Ooh, a strong take, Danny Thompson. Let me step into the box for this. Now, granted, I am already going to get lambasted for eliminating some of the favorite holidays up front. Christmas is not going to make my Mount Rushmore because at this day and age, there is entirely too much stress to execute and pull off the holiday in question. I'm afraid at this point in my career that Christmas has become too difficult, frankly, to pull off. Now, that being said, it's not to say it's not worth the reward and that there isn't plenty of joy given to it, but somehow trying to remind people the meaning of Christmas while seeing all the conflict in the country is very difficult. That being said, let's get to it, shall we? First of all, as a football aficionado and somebody who does take that time to give thanks more than any other as he prepares to deal with the trouble that is the following holiday season of Christmas, I'm definitely putting in the American classic of Thanksgiving in my Mount Rushmore. Whether I travel or not, it's a good time, and I know the next day I probably have a trip to a press box. Well, at least now that I'll be vaccinated by then. By the way, if you happen to live in the Central Florida area, Orange County has opened up vaccination for people 40 and above at the FEMA site. So yeah, do all that. And yeah, we'll leave it at that. No Panthers either, Rodney. We made that point. You can go now. Next holiday on the list that I would find to be the next most joyful, basically, is one that, I'll put it this way. You're getting to that time of the year where you need a day off bad because there hasn't been a holiday in a while. I also have heavy bias because this holiday has, and will, and many times before I'm dead, represent 2 birthdays simultaneously, because there was one particular Memorial Day when on my wife's birthday, my son was born. I'm sorry, you can take it from me, but I'm still putting it up there. Hashtag bias, deal with it. You know, like, we have bias on this show all the time. You know, Matt Ryan is a first ballot Hall of Famer, for example. Anyways, so I'm sorry, Danny Thompson. It was a good dunk. You got to give me that much. Anyway, anyways, so I got Memorial Day on my list as well. You know, the next holiday I account for is one where all the people seem to get the vacationing out of their system, so I can do it later that month before the football season. And of course, I refer to 4th of July. You pay tribute to the birth of America. You have your hot dogs, beer, barbecue, and good times all the way around. And hey, by the time the holiday comes around this year, I'll be vaccinated. It'll be great. And with all that in mind, hey, well, I'm doing my public service announcement during my Mount Rushmore. Do not judge me, Danny Thompson.
I'm not.
So for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and put there. And contrary to my bah humbug attitude to start it off with, I fooled with you guys. I can't think of a better 4th holiday to put in here than Christmas itself. Because at the end of the day, if you could get through all the bad Christmas carols and remakes, seriously, ladies and gentlemen, there is a Santa Baby, except it's called Santa Buddy, sung by a dude that sings it like a lounge singer out there. It's out there. It makes me cry. I do enjoy what Christmas means to my children, and they have a great time at the end of the day. And people come into town to pay them tribute, and it's fun to watch. Danny Thompson.
Bobby, what you got for your holidays, sir? What's your Mount Rushmore holidays?
Well, you got to start with Memorial Day, because here in New Jersey, well, and in a previous lifetime, we'd be counting down to for Memorial Day weekend since like New Year's. That was always the first weekend down the shore, first weekend when you're down by the beach, hanging out with your friends, drinking, partying, dancing, whatever. And I turned 21 Memorial Day weekend. That usually falls on my birthday, so I'll say Memorial Day weekend first. I want to go with Thanksgiving second. It's food, family, and football. That's always a big one.
3Fs?
The 3Fs, including the Italian 8-course, 7-hour Thanksgiving. Let's see. I would have to say July 4th is always a good one, because it's like that's when the Memorial Day weekend up here could be hit or miss. It could be like 60 and rainy. It could be 90 and sunny. But you always count on July 4th as being good weather. So good weather.
Spoken like a man who does not live in Florida, by the way. But continue, Bobby.
I'm a little regional biased here. We're I'll say my 4th one. Heck, I'm Italian. Nah, that's lost lesser the past couple of years. I would say Columbus Day.
Oh, listen, that's your holiday. That's your holiday.
Yeah, Columbus Day. Italian food.
All right. See, nothing wrong with that. So my Mount Rushmore holidays, listen, you guys start out very simple. All right. Growing up, Christmas always was the king of Christmas. All right. Listen, there's nothing on the menu and nothing on the ballot that beats Charlie Brown's Christmas. It is what it is.
I mean, he's not wrong on that one.
You're not being Charlie Brown's Christmas. You're damn sure not being a Christmas Story. All right. Even though Die Hard's not a Christmas movie.
Thank you.
Bobby, don't you even say on this airways. I'll mute you. All right. Die Hard's not a Christmas movie. Okay. You have every single Christmas movie out there. And guess what? It's, and the bad part of living in Florida for the last 10 years that you really don't know what Christmas feels like because it's 75 degrees outside during Christmas Day. Now that I can actually spend time for Christmas actually cold outside, it feels so much better. All right, Christmas is number 1 on the list because it's just freaking Christmas. All right, number 2 on my list is not really a particular order, but I'm a big fan of Labor Day. All right, Labor Day is always the end of the summer, but it's also the beginning of football season for me. All right, when I know it's Labor Day weekend, it's college football, and the NFL is either starting that weekend or starting on Thursday. It basically gets myself ready and in tune for the fact of football is on its way. All right, and since it's the Monday off, it's pretty much the last real major holiday until we get to the Thanksgiving Christmas rush. All right, Thanksgiving used to be great. Man, Thanksgiving has kind of changed because Black Friday is now turned into Thanksgiving Thursday. All right. I look forward to basically, like Bobby said, eating myself into a coma and then go running it off at midnight. But because stores are now open at like literally 4:00 in the afternoon on Thanksgiving Day, kind of ruined the whole thing. All right. The Lions ruining my Christmas on Thanksgiving Day is enough as it is by playing terrible football, and now the Cowboys make things worse. But the good news is we have Thursday night football games, which makes so much better because they choose good matchups. Last but not least, like I said, you have Labor Day, you have Christmas, you have Thanksgiving, but the other holiday for me is one of my favorites. It has to be New Year's. All right. New Year's Eve is you go out, you go drinking, you go watch the ball drop, you spend New Year's at church. It depends, there are different ways for different people to celebrate New Year's, but when that ball drops, it's a brand new year. I know people say all the time, brand new year, new me, but the calendar changes. It's a brand new year. You have 366 days to do what you didn't do in the previous year. So it gives everybody a brand new chance to fresh start. So New Year's, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Labor Day. Honorable mention, my birthday, for crying out loud. All right. Bobby, any shout outs before we go, sir?
No, we got some responses here.
All right, go ahead.
Fire them up. See, I don't get the New Year's thing. Now, granted, maybe y'all's significant others can stay up past 10 p.m., and that's good help. But it's me and my 7-year-old or 6-year-old, right now. So maybe it'll get better when they're older. I don't know. But anyways.
What's cuffing season?
That feels like a trap. I'm not going to ask.
I'm not going there. That's all I'm telling you. General Captain Arab, thank you, sir. Thank you. And sundress season, I'm not going there either. I'm not going there either one of those two. I will not on this show, Ricky Bobby. Cortland, birthday, of course. Thanksgiving, New Year's, and March Madness. I agree.
Stop it.
Hater.
Yeah, I mean, how do you, as national holidays go, how do you not put the Super Bowl in then, for Christ's sake? If we're doing this ridiculousness, first of all, you said a holiday, not a season, a holiday. Okay. March Madness is only a holiday. People only start really watching when it's not during work hours for the Final Four. Okay. I want to hear all that.
Kyle, most people call out on Thursday or Friday, Kyle.
People take off. I got friends in Atlantic City by the sports books. Gonna sit there all day just watching bet sports.
Trust me, gentlemen. You are not seeing the forest past the trees on this one.
Kyle,
that's an office school. That ain't like that.
You know what, Kyle? One of these years, Kyle, we're gonna go to Vegas on Thursday and Friday. NCAA tournament. Bobby, we should all go. Bobby's been to Vegas. There's nothing like the NCAA tournament at the Bellagio with the breakfast buffet and the game starting at literally 9 a.m. because it's 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 a.m. out in the Pacific time zone, Kyle, and sitting at a buffet, eating and drinking mimosas and eating food from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., watching college basketball, as Bobby says, watching your money and bets go down in flames as you're drinking and eating all day long. I am all for it. Thank you, Bobby.
I don't know where I'm going to hide my kids, but okay.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Okay, Rodney, stop it.
No. I'm gonna end this one. Matt Ryan only will be in the Falcon Ring of Honor. He'll have a statue outside of Bank of America Stadium for us all over because many times he's beaten the kittens inside his own stadium. He's the best.
That's a good point.
Matt Ryan's the best number 2 in Panthers history. Even better than Cam Newton. That's all I'm saying. All right.
By the way, I got to respond to Rodney as well. The Rats are in New York City. I am in the other side. I'm in the suburbs. That's New York City. There's no Rats here.
Rodney's upset because Clemson's going home in another sport again without winning a championship. They go back to irrelevancy. The 1 year Clemson's good in basketball, they'll be sent home, Bobby. Bobby, I think he's upset because Clemson's going to lose to a team from the state of New Jersey in the NCAA tournament.
I'm on Rodney's side here. I'm a Seton Hall graduate. We hate Rutgers. So
it doesn't matter. Listen, it's the state of New Jersey. At this point, you need to unite. Because Seton Hall ain't make the tournament this year, Bobby. Y'all went down in flames real quick.
I know.
Kyle, your shots we go.
Hey, in Central Florida, if you are 40 or above, check out starting Monday. Get your appointment to get your vaccine at the FEMA site at the convention center. Boom.
Listen, if you're choosing to go get your COVID test, please go get your COVID test. I mean, go get your COVID shots. If you feel like this is what you need to do, especially with 40 and up, go get it. All right. Because when it becomes more, when the rest of the country is able to get it, or the rest of the population is ready to get it, the lines are going to be insane as well too. All right, shouts to everybody in the chat. Cortland, Rodney. We had a couple new folks joining the chat. We had somebody from YouTube tonight. Vincent.
That's my guy. That's one of my new live streamers.
Oh, okay. One of the new folks from I-95. Welcome to the family, and welcome to the chat as well too. My man Marty Jones jumping in with Todd Gurley earlier, and to the lovely other half. Good, precious.
I have a quick shout out. Thank you to our most hated GM, Getomasaurus, for signing my guy Kyle Rudolph. I'm pretty excited about that.
Hey, listen, I mean, I also heard he's also about to sign Manti Te'o to a interesting contract. All right, Kyle, for myself, Kyle and Bobby, yes, as Kyle nods off because it's time for March Madness. We'll see Kyle in 2 weeks when this tournament's over, and we're talking NFL draft. No, we'll be back on Thursday night talking more of the hoops and the harm, and also Mount Rushmore. So myself, Bobby, and everybody in the staff, I-95 Sports, and everybody in between, we'll catch you guys on Thursday. Stay safe, and if you have a chance to get a COVID test, please wear a COVID test, or please wear a mask, and that includes the people in the state of Texas. Good night, everybody.